Welcome to Nature Cures with Stacia Alicia, where we explore inspiring stories of natural healing and transformation. I'm your host, Stacia Alicia, and I am so excited to have you here today. Today, we're joined by Lashay Taylor, a woman who suffered from alcoholism, obesity, endometriosis, bleeding all the time, acne, breathing issues, back pain, anxiety, depression, and more health challenges. She was able to transform her health through diet and lifestyle changes, and today she's here to share her journey with us. Let's dive in. Hey, Lashay.
Hi, Stacia. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome. All right. So before we go into your healing story, can you tell me a little about yourself and where you're from?
I'm Lashay Taylor, the sign. Um, I am, how old am I now? I'm 38 years old. I'm a Taurus, May gang. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts in the USA. I know you're like on the islands. I am just a regular person, I suppose. About my straw man, I'm a real estate agent by trade here at home. I've been doing that for quite some time. I'd like to say 15, almost 16 years at this point. And that's how I make my money. But I guess I would say like my hobby or my passion is really the health, like just the healthy living lifestyle because it changed my life personally. So that's how I got into this in this realm by living the most not the most healthiest lifestyle and having to transition into a healthy lifestyle for to live essentially. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. But what was your life like before your health challenges began?
So my life was very much like the average person out here living in the matrix, standard American diet lifestyle, animal-based diet. I loved chicken. I love beef. I loved seafood. uh, Very much like to go out with my friends. So I used to go out, have drinks, used to smoke a lot of weed recreationally. Yeah. And the drinking got like, I ended up like in a relationship that was really toxic and I learned how to cope by drinking. So I was never really a heavy drinker until a turbulent time in a relationship. And then I started drinking a lot more and smoking a lot more to kind of escape my reality. And that turned into an unhealthy habit that I carried on for quite some time. And it really caught up to me. So just like the drinking, I eventually did quit drinking back in 2019, decided this is gonna stagnate me and keep me from really truly genuinely healing because this is also around the same time I decided I was going to start a health journey. But yeah, I used to love going out to eat. Like my hobby was going out to restaurants, just like trying the different drinks on the menus, the different cocktails, all the different types of food. I used to love going to all the anything that was new around town. I was there, like ready to eat. I put on some weight after I had a major surgery. I had endometriosis and I was dealing with a lot of bleeding. So I developed a tumor at one point, my lower left abdominal side, and I had to be rushed to the hospital, had an emergency surgery. They removed the tumor. I went on hormone replacement therapy, and that blew my body up. Like I put on so much weight. So yeah. And then after about 2019, that's when I decided like I really need to start making some serious choices or decisions as far as my lifestyle goes because I was probably like 33, 34 years old, but I literally felt like I was one foot in the grave. Like I had breathing
Wow.
issues. I was bleeding, like I said, every single day. I think that's what menorrhagia, where you're just like, I had an indefinite bleed for like 2 years. It was like having a period that wouldn't turn off. So I was like low in iron, very anemic. just really sick all the time, always had respiratory issues, was always constantly congested. I was swollen, kidney issues, just a lot of health issues from the lifestyle that I used to live.
Wow. So what I'm hearing is that you had endometriosis, you were obese or overweight, you had bleeding issues, you had respiratory issues.
Stage one kidney disease, reversed that, thankfully. High blood pressure, like anything that probably could be wrong with me. I had extreme anxiety because it's like
Wow.
when you're constantly sick all the time, it's like you're always anxious. And I'm sure that had something to do with my adrenals as well, because having kidney issues, it just kind of goes hands in hand. And but yeah, so I had a lot of health issues very young for a person who should be their most vital and youthful. I was like always, there's always just something wrong, always sick, destroyed my social life, became very depressed. I couldn't even eat or drink at a certain point, which is why I really did quit drinking because my body rejected the alcohol at a certain point. Like I couldn't even take a sip of it because there was so much mucus that was always coming out of my chest that when I would even take a sip of alcohol, my throat would just kind of like clog with mucus. So my body just got to a point where I couldn't do it anymore. And the same thing with the acidic food. Like my body would only respond well to raw food and fruits. So I pretty much had no choice but to start transitioning and eating that. And with the knowledge that I was coming across online, learning from different influencers in the space or people who healed themselves through living foods, raw foods, fruitarianism, me gravitating towards that information and really just putting it into action and implementing it, I really started to see results in a short period of time, even. Like as little as a month, I lost like over 30 pounds. Like lost about 30 pounds in 30 days because I did a challenge. It was Orville Douglas Fruit Feast. uh he is like a 60-plus-year-old fruitarian, and he's been a fruitarian for over 20 years, and he does these like bi-monthly challenges where it's like a 30-day fruit feast. And I did the 30 days, lost weight, lost inflammation, a lot of the mucus came out of my body. Just it was just like I couldn't believe how quickly my life changed in a short period of time just by only eating fruit. So that's really what sparked the journey to living a healthier lifestyle. Even though I have not been perfect, I've gone in and out of binge eating cycles, going back to, like vegan junk food and things of that sort, and that tug of war with addictive foods. But overall and in general, my lifestyle is still pretty clean. I've maintained all the weight that I've lost. A lot of the inflammation issues and all of that are still reversed unless I go and eat something that triggers it. But I know how to always get back into balance.
Thank you. You just shared everything, but I want to backtrack to certain points just so people can understand what you were going through and how you were feeling. So, what was life like? I know you mentioned it, but in detail, like what was your day-to-day life like living with these illnesses?
I mean, number one, just like some serious depression, like serious depression. I would wake up in the morning, but I wouldn't even get out of bed. Like I would be, so I'm an independent contractor. So there is no mandate or requirement for me to be clocked in somewhere at a specific time. So I have to be self-motivated, self-driven to get up and make my money in order to live. And there was a time where I almost like I was self-sabotaging. Like I knew I needed to get up. I knew I needed to be working. I knew I had bills due. I knew I had to pay my rent at a certain time. I knew these things, but I had so much depression that I could not, I was like physically paralyzed, mentally handicapped, that turned me physically paralyzed. Like I just could not command my body to get up and really be productive. So I was like, I would just be in bed and then I would be in this shame cycle, like this guilt shame cycle, because I know I need to get up and take care of things, but I wasn't doing it. So it's just like you're already not doing what you need to do. Like I'm so deep in my head with negative thinking, negative thoughts, feeling bad about myself because just all of this, the bleeding, just being drained physically. And not only was it a lot of bleeding, but it was also a lot of inflammation in my abdominal area. So it was just like always painful to the touch. And I was still like eating emotionally unhealthy foods. I was still drinking. So doing that also made me feel a lot of shame for actions that I know wasn't serving me, but I couldn't break out of not doing it. So it was just like being in a mental hell a lot of time, like every day. And it would start off like that first thing in the morning. There was never like a reset where it's just like today's going to be a good day. It was just like I was really stuck in a loop. I would like to say for almost 2 years, just like really mentally handicapped, but doing the bare minimum, like knowing that I needed to do something as far as work goes. So I'm doing just enough to make money, but I'm not doing anything else outside of just being able to take care of my responsibilities, not prioritizing self-care activities or just being social and hanging out with my friends or my family, just really isolated, hiding myself. Then I'd eventually get up because I had to. Like I'll do some work, just enough. And I knew God was always with me though, because no matter how much I couldn't do, I would always be given these like opportunities as far as work goes that helped get me carry me through despite how much I couldn't really motivate myself to do. I would still, some things would always work out regardless as far as just like money goes, but it was never because I was out there really giving it my full effort or energy. Then I would like get up, and a lot of the money I did make, I would just waste it on takeout, like ordering delivery or just walking somewhere and just getting something that wasn't good for me, or drinking, going to the liquor store, getting some, I'd go get coffee and I would get like a rum espresso and put it inside of the coffee just to get myself going to get to work. And like that was my life. Then I would like, go pick up some food, eat that, feel terrible about it, come home, be in pain. Every time I use the bathroom, I've had to wear pads every single day of my life. Like every day, always, like I always had pads. Like it was just something that I bought every 1 to 2 weeks. I had to get pads because I was always bleeding. And I would have one heavier period every month, but it would lighten up, but I would always still have to wear pads because I was just always bleeding.
Wow.
Um, Anxiety, like I would be driving to work. If I had to go on the highway, being on the highway gave me anxiety because I would get random panic attacks. So I would always be afraid that I would get a panic attack while I was driving on the highway. So I'm always breathing and talking myself through my drives to get to work. And then I have clients in front of me and I'm literally having anxiety while I'm trying to discuss with them the next steps in the moving process or whatever the case is. It was just always me holding myself together. Like being me was just like, and the only thing that would kind of make me happy and slow it down was the drinking. That was literally like a
Wow.
normal day for quite some time until I just broke out of that spell and decided like I can't live like this anymore.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because a lot of persons don't understand the toll, whether the physical, the mental, the emotional toll that ill health, that sickness has on your entire being and how it affects your day-to-day life. So thank you for sharing that. You said that you started to watch and read and just gather information on certain things, and you started a 30-day, you said a 30-day fruit feast. Can you tell me a little more about that in terms of how was that journey? Was it challenging? Did you have any detox reactions?
When I started that 30-day fruit feast, I was having a lot of like I actually had symptoms. All my symptoms are always scary, but I had a symptom that was scary enough for me to really just like decide to do it instead of like saying this is going to be a challenge. I'm like I didn't tiptoe into it. I knew I was going to complete this challenge because I was like, when I was breathing inward, I had, um, number one, there was so much fluid in my lungs, so I could barely breathe. Then it felt like there was an infection inside of my chest. When I would move in a certain position, it would be like, think of like a scrape on the outside of your knee or something. And something brushes against it and it stings. That's how I felt, but like somewhere like near my lungs. So I was like, I have like a serious infection. I didn't even go to the hospital, even though I know instinctively most people would say you need to go to the emergency room. I just kind of been, I'm telling you, for almost a year, for months, binge watching things like Dr. Robert Morse, watching Dr. Sebi videos, watching Fully Raw Christina, watching all these different people who are on health journeys, who's doing detoxification lifestyles to really cleanse their bodies and things of that. So I've been watching it for years, but not implementing any of it, still kind of living the lifestyle, wanting to do it, saying, I wish I could do that, just like really not believing in myself to be able to execute. And I did that for some time until I had symptoms because I was just really, it was like my breathing was just getting lower and lower and lower. And I felt like I was like dying. I literally felt like I was dying. And I was like, I didn't want to go to the hospital because I was already going to the hospitals. I've already had surgery. They've already given me hormone therapy. They are, like it's like all these things that's not working. And they're just going to want to put me on medications. And it's just something I didn't believe in. And I told myself, you have two options. You either go to the hospital, go on their medications, at least it'll stabilize you, or live in accordance to your true inner values and stop self-sabotaging, stop harming your body with these inflammatory foods, stop harming your body with alcohol, stop harming your body with stress, stop harming your body with depression, stop harming your body with all these low vibrational choices, and just go back to nature, have some self-discipline, do that. So, and it just got to a point where my health was so low and I was desperate enough to do whatever it takes to actually change. So it took like my back being against the wall for me to finally make a choice. So I was following Orville Douglas on Facebook, and another one of his bi-monthly challenges came up. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And I just started. Like I went to the grocery store, I went and got all the fruits that I liked, and I just started day one. Day one, like I had so much mucus, I could barely breathe, like I was heavy. It was just like, but I was determined to feel better, So like I just started day one. And it wasn't hard, honestly. Like I had cravings, but I knew that the cravings didn't matter because I knew I was going to complete this 30-day challenge because I was tired of feeling like how I felt. Like I didn't want to die. Like I was scared. So being scared and I should have been driven by love for myself to make the best choice, but it was fear that moved me. And whatever, it is what it is, right? It doesn't matter as long as it helps you get going. So it was hard. I won't say it was not hard because, yes, I craved all of the things that I had just eaten before I started the challenge. Like, I didn't start transitioning from, like, I was kind of transitioning from vegan, but I was still like doing the Boca burgers and, just like the unhealthy processed vegan foods, and it was important for the transition. Like I don't even take away from that part or that phase of the journey because there's levels to it. You have to transition into it meant just so it can be sustainable on a mental level. It helps keep you going or whatever. Then yeah, that's how I started. But I was still like sometimes eating seafood or going to um fast food drive-throughs, and but I was transitioning. But then when I just realized I couldn't play no more, like this needs to get done or I'm just gonna be dead. It was just easy to do. But I did have some detox, like my skin broke out like the first week. I was having headaches. Obviously using the bathroom a lot. using the bathroom a lot. It took about the first week though, because I was pretty constipated in the beginning. So I was eating a lot of fruit and feeling really bloated. But like around that 7, 8 day mark, oh my God, it was just like a plugged pipe just burst, and all of a sudden I was just going to the bathroom like crazy every single day, 2, 3 times a day. And the more I eliminated waste, the better I felt, day after day after day. And then there will be days where I'd have some serious cramps and I'd be nauseous and I would be sick, but as soon as I go use the bathroom and I pass, I feel better than I ever felt, and then like 2 week mark, I done lost half my weight. So I'm already glowing, losing a crazy amount of weight. I'm going to work in the office and people are like, where did you go? Like, like what like it's just like the transformation was so fast, like with the weight loss and more clarity and energy. Like my back used to hurt like crazy. Like I'm very top heavy, but when I was heavier I was like even heavier up, like my back was burning, like excruciating pain, upper back, lower back. It was just like very, very painful. And I would say like definitely by the end of that month I had zero back pain, like zero back pain. I was gonna get a breast reduction because of my breast being so big, but I lost like 4 cup sizes, like I lost, like that was just all inflammation in my breast. That was all lymphatic backup in my breast, just like swelling essentially. But once I started to detox and cleanse, the breast, like my breast deflated. I mean, they were still big. They're naturally big. They're not going nowhere. I got it honestly. My mom is very top heavy. My dad's side, the women are very top heavy, so they're not going anywhere. But if they're filled with inflammation, they'll just be even bigger. It's like all the weight likes to concentrate in that area. So there were a lot of like good changes, but it was like there was a lot of detox, headaches, breakouts, diarrhea, some stomach cramping and pains when things were on their way out. It actually triggered bleeding in me though. Like, so with the endometriosis, it was like the cleansing triggered a lot of blood shed. So it was like very heavy. I kind of just let it play out and then eventually stopped. And I would like to say with consistency in the lifestyle, like around the 90-day, 4 month mark is when I really started to see the positive changes in my cycle. When naturally the bleeding would stop. Naturally, my periods were going back to like 7 days, 5 days, lighter, no cramping. No, like I used to have debilitating cycles, like periods where like curled up in a ball crying, like I would feel these weird electrical impulses shooting in my stomach. It was just like some of the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life every single time I had a period. And I haven't experienced anything like that in years.
I
Not
love
anymore.
that. I love that. You were saying it was at 30 days, but then you said 90 days. Is it that you continued after the 30 days, you just continued eating and living that
Yeah.
way?
Yeah, I
Oh,
just continued. So I started off 30-day challenge and then I didn't stay 100% fruit, but I stayed raw. So I was
okay.
doing a lot of salads, I was doing a lot of nuts and seeds, and I noticed a lot of the nuts and seeds, they did slow down the healing, and so I felt like they could also still be like very, I don't want to say inflammatory, but mucus
Yeah.
forming.
Mucus.
If Yeah, like if you're not healed completely, it could still be, and maybe if you are healed completely, it could still be mucus forming. But I know that when your body still has a lot of waste to eliminate, and it takes time, it doesn't happen overnight. You can just do 100% fruit and stay disciplined and accelerate the cleansing and the healing process, or you can just take it slow and transition into it, but also just stay away from processed foods, stay away from just more overtly harmful things, alcohol and smoking and all of those things. As long as you avoid that and you stick to whole food, plant-based, and as raw and as natural as possible. You could have your balance and your ratios. I don't think you need to be perfect, especially for your mental health. Unless you know you can do it, it's really hard because we have been trained to eat emotionally. Like we're very emotionally attached to our eating, to our food and our eating habits, and we've ritualized it. And we've made it, we make our plates pretty, we do all these things, and it's just like, that's not a bad thing. You just have to do it to where it's sustainable for you. Because otherwise, you go through these cycles where you're cleansing or you're binging. You're cleansing or you're binging. There's like extremes, and that's what I went through for a long time. And you just get to a point where you find your balance because you learn your body, and it's just not putting so much pressure on yourself. Just knowing that it's a journey and it's a lifestyle. It's not like you've got to get to this destination and you got to get, like, there's no destination. The destination ends when we die. So just, every day is just about giving yourself grace and making the best choices as possible to do better, be better, not perfect. Because perfectionism will either have you being perfect for a week or two, or maybe even for a few months. And then you go and you indulge it. And then I experienced having all this guilt from just eating some rice and some veggies, because it wasn't raw. And I felt like you have to be careful with the lifestyle because it can start creating, in my experience, like not eating disorders, but disordered eating thinking. Like you want to eat, food is not the problem, but it could be like, if you're judging yourself harshly because you're comparing yourself to other people's journeys, it can be very easy to fall into the trap of like you're only eating all fruit or all raw, or there is no in between. You're just eating like crap. So that's something I experienced, and I learned a lot through that too, because even living a really super healthy lifestyle can lead to, I won't say depression, but definitely some level of dissatisfaction mental health wise, because socially, if you're going out with your friends or your family and everybody else is doing this thing, you can have these little subconscious feelings of FOMO, of like feelings of missing out on these experiences. But that, I guess that is a whole nother conversation. But I'm at a point where I'm very secure in myself, like I've healed my body of a lot of things, and I know what I will never go back to, and I also don't try to be perfect at the same time. I try to find my balance, and I like to still cleanse because I'm not like a fully raw vegan right now. I eat cooked food. I just don't eat, like, I'm actually transitioning into going back to a high raw vegan, and I actually do want to be a fully raw vegan. I've been fully raw for about, I want to say, a little over a week now. I've just naturally, I don't know, it wasn't really a plan. It was just something I wanted. I just started eating lots of fruit. I did like grapes for like 4 days, just nothing but grapes. And then I just started eating a whole bunch of fruit after that. Um, Watermelons, and I ate lots of watermelon this year, and just lots of raw salads like these past week. But it's just what my body wants. I just try to listen to
Right.
my body at this point. It's just like, okay, for whatever reason, we're transitioning into a new season, and I'm just wanting to feel that ultra hydration. I want to feel that electricity. Like, no matter what, I know I always feel my best when I'm like fully raw. I'm always feeling my best when I'm eating all fruit. And when I'm indulging in like plant-based meals, and when I'm eating out with friends and family and trying to make the best choices socially, like that's good for my social life, for my mental health. But I do like to balance it out by doing like these cleanses. I definitely intermittent fast every day. I usually only eat one meal a day. And these are ways, fasting is like a huge part of my lifestyle. So that's how I also keep my body in balance, because it's like I'm not eating all the time. I allow my body to go through like 24-hour fasting cycles, and then I'll eat one time. And then, like that has been a huge game changer when it came to my health as well.
I know people who are emotional eaters, and they will always say, like, basically, they don't have control. It's no matter how they try to eat right or to eat the right things, they end up eating the wrong things. What advice would you give to an emotional eater who really wants to change their life?
I mean, some people just don't learn until they have no choice but to. Like, sometimes there's really no magical phrase or question or paragraph that's going to motivate somebody to do what's best for themselves. There's someone that I follow on Facebook. Her name is Tracy Lee, and this woman is hardcore devoted fruitarian. Like, she does not, she's a raw vegan, alkaline fruitarian. She doesn't even eat salad. She doesn't eat nuts. She doesn't eat dates. Like, this woman only eats fruit, and she works out every single day. She's muscular, she's healthy, she's vibrant. And number one, I'd say go follow her because she's helped change my mindset a lot. She's like just extremely devoted. Number two, I would say she says something about lust. Like, if you're a religious person, think about like the seven deadly sins and counteract that with like the virtues that makes you a virtuous person. One of the seven deadly sins is lust. If you are living with God in your heart, every decision you make is God based. Just know that when you are eating emotionally, you're just choosing it's lust. That's that food is lust. Is not just like sexual lust. Is anything that is tempting, because we have a very intimate relationship with our food. So you already know what you put inside of your body is, it becomes a part of you. Like, we are what we eat. Like, your cells are being built or degenerating based on what you're consuming. It's a very intimate relationship we have with what we put inside of our body. So if you're feeling emotional, you have the choice of making an unhealthy choice, or you have the choice of making something, eating something that's actually going to help you thrive, that's going to not work against your body. So when you're choosing something that doesn't work against your body, you're making uh, a godly decision. And when you are not, you are making a low vibration, I don't want to say evil decision, but I'm just trying to think of like what would counter, a godly decision. You're
Well, the
falling
opposite
into
of
sin.
godly is ungodly.
Yeah, like an ungodly decision. There we go. So that is lustful. So just don't choose lust. You choose discipline, you choose patience. So you go and you make a decision, or you just don't eat anything at all. Sometimes when we start craving, if we get triggered to go and make, like, eat something that's going to calm us down, something that's going to make us forget, something that's going to suppress the emotion that we're trying to avoid. How about just don't eat and sit with your emotions and really just sit with the emotion? What am I feeling right now? Why am I running away from this feeling? Why do I want to stuff this emotion with this unhealthy food? That is an opportunity for you really to observe the fact that you're about to make a choice to eat emotionally, and you could decide to observe it and be like, oh, I want to emotionally eat, and really just look at that and be like, I'm not going to, because I'm only eating emotionally because I'm feeling a certain way about this thing right now. And instead of eating, I'm just going to sit with the emotion, and I'm going to cry, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to really ask God to help me through this, because you can't run away from yourself. You're either going to keep eating emotionally and suppressing that emotion. It's going to stay stuck inside of you, and then it's going to manifest into a disease. It's going to manifest into an ailment because you don't want to handle the emotion. That's how we manifest diseases in our body. If we're anxious all the time, if we're in fear all the time, we're manifesting disease in our kidneys, and that's really an opportunity for you to not hold on to what you're trying to suppress with food. And it's an opportunity for you to really just look at it and face yourself, because you can't run away from yourself. Ultimately, it's going to keep coming up. You're going to keep eating every single time. You can keep doing that, but where has it led you? So that is a mental emotional connection that you're just suppressing with food, that can turn into and manifest into something detrimental physically. So just think about that. Think about the consequence of emotional eating, and not just weight gain, but what it can actually lead to. And trust me, I've emotionally ate most of my life. And the only time I couldn't emotionally eat anymore is when my body rejected me from even doing that. And that's because it manifested into disease. My emotions manifested into disease. So once I decided to go through that, because when you're cleansing, you're going to be facing your emotions more than ever. And you have to learn how to sit with them and pray and just go to therapy, do whatever it is you need to do. Make your mental health your priority. Make your mental health, um, put it on your to-do list. Like on your to-do list is to overcome my mental health issues, overcome my depression. Like be intentional about it. And then know that a trigger when you are mentally going through it is food. So have a plan in place when you're ready to emotionally eat. Don't emotionally eat. Sit with your emotions.
If you could go back and speak to yourself at the start of your journey, what would you say?
I would say that it is a journey, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, because I was always chasing a destination, like waiting until I got to a certain place to be happy, instead of being at peace because I made a decision that was going to lead me to exactly where I needed or wanted to be. It was just like constantly not believing in myself, which led me like in the back and forth. Like I was very disciplined in the beginning, but then when I kind of like veered off and started getting back into emotional eating and things, because it's a journey. There is no perfection. And like a journey in life is like growth is not linear. It's not like you're just gonna grow. You grow through the mistakes that you make. You grow through the slip ups. You grow through the failures. You grow through that. But you don't truly fail if you continue to move forward and you pick yourself back up and you get back on track and you continue to move. And that's a part of the journey. Like people think that growth is just like upward, like you're just gonna grow upward. No, it's like you're gonna grow a little bit and then you're gonna like go down a little bit, and then you might sit there for a little bit, but you're gonna go back up, and then go down and go up and then go up and then go down a little bit. It's just like it's a journey, but you are you're getting there, or more and more over time. So for me, I would just say be patient with yourself. Know that you have the inner strength, you have the inner power, you have the wherewithal to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish. And you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better, and to not judge yourself harshly when you're not perfect. Just learn from every experience and move forward, and to listen to your body. I would tell myself to listen to my body, because my body always communicates with me. Like if I am like in a cycle where I'm not making the best choices as far as like my dietary choices go, and if I know that my body's like starting to get a little tired of the unhealthy choices, and I decide this will be my last day eating whatever I want to eat, soon as I get that thought of going to go pick up some food I know that's not good for me, I'll get like a little cramp in my stomach. And my stomach was perfectly fine before. And so it's like my body saying, no, don't do that. It's like, and that's really ourselves communicating with us. It's a very animate and inanimate object. If we really develop relationships with our body and we really listen to our body will be like, that's not a good idea. I don't know. It literally, my body will start talking to me when my thoughts set to a certain place that will work against my body. It's so weird, but like really developing a relationship with yourself. That's what I would tell myself, to listen to your body. Don't ignore it when it starts reacting to one of your self-sabotaging thoughts, to prevent you from doing so. That life is a journey and there is no perfection. There's only getting better. There's learning from everything that you go through, and to give yourself grace and be proud, because I've accomplished things that I didn't even think was possible before. Like I said, I'd for years watch Dr. Robert Morse, watch all of these influencers healing themselves while I'm just watching them do it with some food on the way from Domino's or Papa Gino's, some pizza. Like, oh, I want to do that so bad while I'm eating pizza, instead of just making that choice. But I eventually did. And yeah, it took desperation and it took my health kind of getting to the worst it's ever been, but I still made the decision. I didn't go to the doctors, I didn't go to the hospitals, I didn't tell them that I need them to fix me. I was accountable because I knew I was the one who put me there. And I knew that I was the only one who was going to get me out. So I
I
would just
love
say
that.
it'll work out. Just keep doing what you need to do and it'll work out. Dig in the power, find the power within yourself and really just stick to it.
Take us through a typical day for you now. What are you doing from you rise in the morning till you go to bed at night?
So I usually wake up like around 7 or 8 in the morning. Depends on how late I go to sleep. Sometimes I do go to bed pretty late, like 2 in the morning or so. When I open my eyes, I always say thank you. I always say thank you, God, for another day. I get up, I take a shower, I brew my tea. I always have like some herbs that I'm doing, like kidney herbs for maintenance, burdock, like blood cleansing herbs. So I get my teas ready, I clean my fruit, and I do a lot of work from home as an independent contractor. So I basically just get to working. I don't really eat until about I don't really get I just drink water and tea until about 3 p.m., 4 p.m. I really don't get hungry until that time, and then I'll eat my fruit. Like, I always eat fruit to start the day. Like, no matter what time of the day it is, it's always fruit that I'm breaking my fast with. It's the most hydrating thing that I can eat. I know all the fiber keeps my gut clean and just keeps things regular. If I have any cooked food, I will tend to have like some quinoa. I'll have some roasted vegetables, or just like as whole food plant based as possible. And but I'm not perfect. There are times where if I'm working all day and I don't feel like preparing something, I'll order something from one of these vegan restaurants out here. I just try to keep it as clean as possible. I'll get like a salad, I always get a salad, and I always have my own dressings that I put on my salads, even if I have them ordered. But, I'll have, I don't know, maybe even a veggie burger or something. Like I said, I'm not perfect. But I always just try to keep it plant-based, and I do try to keep it as clean as possible, and I do try to prepare my own food as much as possible. But I am a little lazy nowadays, so I just like to eat fruit. Like, fruit is just easy. You clean it, you buy it, you clean it, you eat it. It's simple, no dishes. So I eat lots of fruit for the most part. My calories generally come from fruit. If I want something else, I will go and get something that's plant-based, but I eat mostly whole food plant-based. There's like not one a special routine day outside of the fact I definitely intermittent fast on routine. I really don't start eating until about 4 or 5 p.m. I always start with fruit and I keep it whole food plant-based in general. When I eat at home, I keep it simple. I like quinoa. I try to stay away from rice, even though I do have it sometimes. I eat lots of quinoa. I eat lots of roasted vegetables and lots of mushrooms. Um, yeah, I just keep it simple, to be honest. I try not to ritualize eating anymore and make food so important outside of the fact that it's fuel. I don't like to put too much pressure on food. Like, it's just fuel. It's not this big thing that I used to obsess over.
Outside of eating though, do you do or do you have any other wellness activities or self-healing modalities that you practice?
Yeah, so when I get up in the morning, I have a rebounder. Like I have like the mini trampoline in my living room. So I like to jump on that for 3 to 5 minutes a day because Barbara O'Neill said all you really need is um like 3 minutes of jumping and it'll help activate your lymphatic system and get everything moving. I do have a gym membership at Planet Fitness. It's my goal to get there 3 to 4 times a week, but I usually only get there really 2 times a week. I do go and exercise, so I do move regularly. However, I am always constantly moving because of work. Like I am in real estate, I work a lot. I'm up and down stairs all day. I'm running from here to there, and then I also do DoorDash and Uber in the evening. So I'm constantly running in and out of restaurants. I get so many steps in a day. So like I'm constantly I just try to have an active lifestyle just as far as just how I live my everyday life. So I'm not really a couch potato. I just, if I'm not making it to the gym, maybe twice a week, I'm always on my trampoline, jumping up and down, just keeping things moving, and I'm always just walking. That's that. Like I don't have like no, I used to be really big on breath work and I want to get back into that because your first food is air. So having a like that, I can remember when I was very disciplined with my breath work routine. Like I would wake up and I would do 20 minutes of the Wim Hof breathing um, through the nose and out the nose. It was like through the nose and out the nose. And that very much set me up for the most peaceful day. It just does something to your nervous system. It makes you so present, makes me so calm, keeps me so patient. Like no road rage, none of that. Um so that's something that I was very disciplined with and then for whatever reason just fell off that I'm gonna commit back to. I'm saying it now, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say I want to do it. I'm gonna get back to it because what's stopping me outside of me saying
Let's do it. I want you now to paint a clear before and after picture. What were the challenges and now what is life like now for you?
before, just very depressed, very isolated, didn't have close relationships with friends or family, heavier in my body, weight wise, heavier in my head, mental health wise, very avoidant, very sad, very depressed, very lustful when it comes to food, always wanting to eat to escape, always wanting to drink to escape. Just always having pain in my abdominal area, bleeding every single day, acne, anxiety, low motivation, sick all the time, always have a cold, always have the flu, always congested in my head, could hardly ever breathe. I started at like 198. Now I'm around like 125, 126 pounds, and I stay there. Very light in my body. Love it. Very calm, like always calm. Still working on my patience, but I'm generally far more patient than I used to be. Just happier in general. I have friend groups now. I have like best friends, people that I go out with regularly. We have healthy relationships. Like I don't get together with my friends so that we can drink. We get together and have like our sister circles and we talk about our life and the things that we're going through, our relationships. We still go out. We like to have fun and we like to dance and we it's just the quality of my relationships. I never thought I could have these kind of relationships because I was just such an isolationist. I was very introverted, didn't want, and I'm still introverted, just not with the people that I care and I love. I'm very intentional about nurturing my relationships now. I'm more fulfilled in that way. I'm way more productive at work. I make more money than I did back then. I'm a lot more disciplined in my choices in life. I don't have this obsession with food anymore. Like I just really eat when I'm hungry and I don't always like I'll still go through little cycles, But I choose to go through those cycles now. It's just like, you know what? I'll be, I don't know, on a little mini trip or something. And if I want to try the different restaurants in the area, I will. Like, I don't guilt myself over it anymore. I just tell myself when I get home, I'm going to cleanse, like whatever. Like, I just live a more fulfilled life in general compared to how I was. I don't
Okay.
obsess over food. I care more about moments and the quality of life, and I care more about my nervous system, keeping it calm. Because when you're always worried about things and you're always in constant fear about trivial things, even as trivial as a meal, you can be the healthiest eater in the world, but if your adrenaline is always going, if you're always in fight or flight because you're always obsessed over food and what you're going to eat, if it's healthy, if it's unhealthy, if it's healthy, but you don't want to be eating that for real. So you're stressing yourself out because you really want something else. It's like you can really destroy your health, your physical health with your mind, constantly creating cortisol in your body, constantly stressing out over trivial things. It's like important to be so mindful of your thoughts and how it affects you physically. And I am so much more mindful about my thoughts. I don't allow things to stress me out anymore. I don't allow things to build that cortisol in my body because there was a point where I was fully raw vegan and having heart palpitations because I was just like still extremely anxious because even though I was eating super duper healthy, I had ridiculous cravings for certain things that I just wanted to eat. And I didn't allow myself to eat it. And I just got to a point where I remember I watched Dr. Robert Morse. He was like, if you have a craving that bad that it's destroying your mental health, just eat it and get it out the way. And I did. And it just like, that worked. And I never even ate anything like that ever again. Like it was just like sometimes you got to find your balance. It's all about your individual journey though at the end of the day. And it's an individual journey thing. So that is like where I'm at now. Very used to be very sick. Now I don't have like I'm not bleeding every single day. Like I don't have all this inflammation and all this pain in my reproductive organ area anymore. Um my blood pressure is not through the roof. Like it's just everything is back to balance. Everything is back to balance, and it doesn't require perfectionism to get there. And I attribute a lot of that to my mental health because I think my mind had me sicker than my lifestyle choices, to be honest.
Yes, because a lot of persons don't understand and realize that negative emotions, your thoughts, trauma, stress can actually result in you being ill. So you saying that your thoughts contributed more to your health challenges than even your lifestyle. That's powerful.
I genuinely believe that too. I really believe that.
So I want to go into the final segment of this conversation. This is the rapid fire round. So I'm going to be asking you a few questions quickly and you answer as quickly as possible. One food that you cut out that changed everything.
All meat and dairy. All meat and dairy. I'll say dairy. Dairy definitely changed everything because I had a lot of mucus issues. A lot of mucus issues. When I stopped eating dairy, I feel like the dramatic change in production of mucus was, I won't say it was overnight, but it was quick. I just wasn't as congested, as clogged, wasn't coughing up as much mucus when I got dairy out. So I would say that was the most impactful.
One wellness habit that you can't live without.
Prayer,
One thing women should stop doing immediately.
drinking alcohol, wine,
All right, this is the roots and remedies. What's one natural cure, remedy, or practice that has transformed your life or that everyone should try?
intermittent fasting.
This is the Nature Cures Challenge. If you could challenge our listeners and viewers to try one healing habit for this week, what would it be?
Affirmations.
What's one song that supported you on your journey?
There was not
Great.
a song, but there was a quote. And it was like the sobriety quote: God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot
Right.
change, and the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That I repeated that very much often in my head, but there was no
Yeah.
specific song.
That's a good one. I love that one as well. If you could design a starter pack for someone beginning their healing journey, what would you put in it?
I would put health and wellness affirmations, because it's going to start in your mind before you can really get your body to make the choices. So you affirm repeatedly. I Today I create momentum in my health journey. I look forward every day to eating fresh fruits and vegetables. They make me feel alive. Like just things like that. So I would put health affirmations in there to work on the mind. I would put distilled water. I personally love distilled water because it's got a negative charge and it pulls a lot of mucus. So because I intermittent fast, and I think fasting is important because it allows the body the time to heal, just drink water to help flush your body and help keep things going and keep your gut hydrated, so all that stuck undigested waste that's sitting in your stomach can just start to loosen up and come out. So affirmations, distilled water, fruit, because it's packed with nutrients, hydration, and fiber to help you cleanse. A simple movement regimen, whether that's just walking every day for 30 minutes or jumping on a trampoline, doing some simple full body workouts. And
So
that would
maybe you
basically
could put
be
a
it.
trampoline in there.
So trampoline, water, affirmation cards with wellness affirmations, and yeah.
Is there anything I did not ask you, but you think that it is important for the audience to know?
I think we covered most of the bases. I would just tell everybody to really make it a goal to focus on your mental health even more than your physical health, because it's going to be your mind that commands you to make the best choices for yourself. And if you have negative self-talk all the time, where you don't like yourself and you're saying a lot of unkind things subconsciously, it's going to create a cycle where you're going to just self-sabotage, and you're going to do it in the best way that you know how, which is to self-medicate with these food-like drugs, because they're not food, but they have these stimulants in them that make us addicted, like salt and sugar and all of these things and the starches. So I would just say, when you start your health journey, start with a mental health journey. If you don't fix what's happening in your mind, it's going to trigger emotions that's going to lead to the same behavior. So really focus on managing your emotions and your mental health. And when you get your mind and your heart right, you're just going to naturally start making the decision to do what's best for your body. You're going to be emotionally intelligent enough to do something that you know is going to help you feel more confident, feel better about yourself. You could start making the healthiest choices, but if you're in an unhealthy environment, if you're living in a home with a lot of stress or abuse or something of the sort, really doesn't matter how healthy you're going to eat. If you have to change your environment, you have to focus on your peace, because that alone will have you losing some symptoms that has manifested as illness, just by simply leaving unsafe environments. Your adrenaline, your stress levels, the cortisol, that fight or flight that you're always in could very well be the reason why you're sick. So really focus on clearing your environment, creating more peace in your life, and saying positive things to yourself, like brain hack yourself with positive affirmations. Say good things about yourself, believe in yourself, believe that you can follow through on this journey. And you do that by changing the words, by saying, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Say that I 100% know that I'm going to do this. Like, I know that I'm going to take care of myself. I know that this week is going to be the best week I've ever had with my dietary choices. This is going to be the best week I ever had with my mental health because I love myself. I love my body. I believe in myself. I'm the most beautiful woman on this planet. Like, you have to really be your biggest cheerleader. And I really just think it begins with you pumping yourself up mentally, focusing on clearing yourself emotionally, getting out of unsafe environments. And you start there, you're going to have what it takes to really follow through on everything that you want to accomplish.
How can people connect with you, or where can they connect with you?
You can connect with me on social media. I'm more active on Facebook. I'm Lashay Taylor. You can find me on there. I actually start my podcast back up the end of this month, actually. It'll be every Saturday. It's called the Betterism Podcast. So if you want to go check that out, I do have some episodes already on there. I'm starting my second season by the end of this month. So you can go, and I've also have done conversations with a lot of people in the health world. Yeah, that's where you can find me. I have an interview on Jillian Berry as well that I did a couple of years ago. That was really fun. You can go and check that out. But yeah, you'll find me on Lashay Taylor, my name, on Facebook. And if you go to YouTube, you go to the Betterism Podcast with me, you can go and check that out as well.
All right, Lashay Taylor, what does true healing mean to you?
True healing to me is being at peace, and having a calm nervous system. That's like really being truly healed to me because I feel like with that, you can, like, your body is going to self repair, just like how your body can break down by stress hormones, your body can heal with happy hormones. So, true health to me is just like being happy.
I love that. Thank you so much, Lashay, for sharing your story, your journey, your experience, your knowledge with us. I am sure that there is someone who has been inspired by your story and now has hope that no matter what it is they're going through health wise, whether it's mental or physical health, that they, once they make a decision, they will be able to get to the other side of healthy. So thank you so much. I appreciate love you coming on and sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you for inviting me. I enjoyed this conversation. I enjoyed you. And yeah, maybe next time we can do this again, or you can come on my show so I can talk to you. So-
Oh, sure, sure, sure. If someone you know suffers from alcoholism, obesity, endometriosis, back pain, breathing issues, acne, anxiety, depression, or any of the health challenges that Lashay spoke about in this video, then share this episode with them. You never know, this may be the start of their transformation journey. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next episode, take care of yourself. And remember, nature cures. Blessed love.